Imagine our feelings of anxiety and complex emotions as the skilled movements of a master swordsman, sharp and piercing, yet vital to our journey toward mastery. Just as a swordsman's precise strikes are essential to honing his craft, our emotions, including anxiety, are integral to the human experience. Though challenging, they ultimately foster our growth and deepen our self-understanding. At first glance, anxiety often appears as a crippling force. It's the knot in your stomach, the restless mind, the sleepless nights spent staring at the ceiling. It can feel like a prison, trapping people in their own thoughts. For many, anxiety is seen as a barrier to a fulfilling life. Yet, within the haze of this intense emotion, moments of clarity emerge, sparks for growth, and even sources of powerful motivation. Friedrich Nietzsche, a name that resonates not only through the halls of philosophical history, but also in the hearts and minds of existentialists and thinkers around the world. While the stories of his deep ideas and existential reflections are well known, few venture into the depths of his psyche to understand the profound impact anxiety had on his philosophical revolution. Nietzsche, like many of us, struggled with anxiety. However, he did not succumb to it. Instead, he harnessed its power to carve his path, refine his philosophies, and delve deeper into the existential questions that consumed him. In this exploration, we will embark on a journey through Nietzsche's life, unraveling how he transformed what many may perceive as a vulnerability into one of his most formidable assets. For in the shadows of anxiety, we often discover the brilliance of deep philosophies waiting to be revealed. The young philosopher, embracing existential anxiety. Amid the extensive writings of Friedrich Nietzsche on philosophy and the complexities of human existence, there is a lesser-known narrative of a young Nietzsche whose life was far from simple. As he transitioned from his early years into adolescence, the inherent challenges of life unfolded before him. During this transformative period, the complexities of existence expanded, and with them, existential anxiety often took root in the heart of the young philosopher. Navigating a world without the comforting guidance of conventional beliefs and being thrust into a realm of personal responsibility and social expectations, Nietzsche's early encounters with life were not marked by triumphant victories, but by searing lessons of adversity and the overwhelming weight of uncertainty. These moments, brimming with raw emotion and inner conflict, served as the cornerstone of his profound intellectual journey. Rather than succumbing to these feelings, Nietzsche embraced them as catalysts for growth. Each anxious thought, every hesitant step, became an opportunity for self-evaluation and philosophical development. These early episodes of existential anxiety did not hinder him. They acted as the crucible in which he forged his philosophical ideas and refined his worldview. Just as metals must endure the chaos of a furnace to emerge as valuable tools, Nietzsche's internal struggles acted as the crucible of his intellectual evolution. As we delve deeper into his life, we will discover how these formative experiences with existential anxiety paved the way for the philosophical legend he was destined to become. Anxiety as motivator, the will to power. Entering the pinnacle of Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophical journey, one might imagine him as the relentless intellectual force he is often perceived to be. However, beneath the facade of his intellectual prowess and unwavering confidence, subtle nuances of anxiety continued to flow through his thoughts. Instead of rejecting it, Nietzsche harnessed these restless energies as catalysts that propelled him further along his path. There exists a delicate interplay between complacency and ambition, where many individuals might have been content with their intellectual achievements. The underlying anxiety Nietzsche experienced pushed him to expand the boundaries of thought, never truly satisfied with his philosophical accomplishments. It was not the paralyzing anxiety that immobilizes out of fear, but rather a stimulating type that spurred him into action. It whispered to him during solitary contemplation, reminding him that there were always new frontiers of thought, philosophical challenges yet to be discovered. Nietzsche's philosophical brilliance was not simply the result of his innate talent, but was driven by his deep engagement with his own internal philosophical struggles. It was this anxiety that acted as the invisible force guiding him toward perpetual intellectual growth. It served as a reminder that even in the mastery of philosophical ideas, there was always room for further exploration, refinement, and evolution. In the vast landscape of Nietzsche's philosophical journey, anxiety was not the adversary but the unsung ally. inspiring a drive that would etch the legacy of one of the greatest philosophers. The duality of existence, balancing fear and courage. Emerging from the depths of Nietzsche's philosophical exploration was an emblematic representation of his internal dichotomy, the Übermensch, or the Superman, a masterful fusion of strength and vulnerability. This concept symbolizes Nietzsche's reflection on anxiety and his unwavering pursuit of balance. At the core of the Übermensch lies a delicate interplay between two opposing forces, much like the interaction between fear and courage. One aspect embodies the immediacy of action, often driven by the instinctive response that arises from fear, while the other represents patience and deliberate reflection, rooted in courage and precision. Through deep philosophical reflection, Nietzsche concluded that it was not about conquering fear, but embracing it. Anxiety, with its sharp intensity, became the catalyst for one aspect, urging quick and instinctive responses. In contrast, his accumulated wisdom and courage guided the other aspect, ensuring that haste did not lead to recklessness. Thus, his unique philosophical perspective was not simply a display of intellectual prowess, but a manifestation of his internal journey, where anxiety and reflection, fear and courage converged in a harmonious existential rhythm. Strategic preparation, foresight, born from existential fear. As we delve deeper into Nietzsche's worldview, we find a pattern in his philosophical approach. Each of his philosophical propositions seems meticulously calculated, each idea deliberately constructed. But what inspired this methodical approach? Upon closer examination, we discover a connection to the existential angst Nietzsche grappled with. Rather than allowing existential fear to hinder him, Nietzsche transformed these feelings into a powerful source of foresight. The world is a place of uncertainties, with sudden shifts in social values, unexpected changes in cultural paradigms, and unpredictability at every turn. Nietzsche's familiarity with existential fear served as an internal alarm, making him aware of potential obstacles and challenges in the ever-changing philosophical landscape. It was as if existential fear whispered the secrets of the unknown into his ear, urging him to remain ever vigilant. This sharp sense of alertness pushed him to think more deeply, challenge conventional beliefs, and prepare with an intensity that few could match. While many saw existential fear as a burden, Nietzsche recognized it as an ally that provided a nuanced perspective, allowing him to anticipate changes in intellectual paradigms and the fluctuations of cultural evolution. By understanding and harnessing his existential fear, Nietzsche transformed what others might see as a weakness into a distinctive philosophical advantage. He realized that within preparation lay power, the power to transform existential fear into intellectual foresight, to transmute the apprehension of an uncertain world into philosophical action. Nietzsche's brilliance lay in his ability to turn internal philosophical struggles into external triumphs. Reflections in solitude, the power of introspection. When the echoes of conflicting wills quieted, Nietzsche often retreated into the embrace of solitude. Far from the tumultuous scenes of social norms, he sought sanctuaries of tranquility, whether in remote mountain peaks or isolated philosophical corners. This deliberate isolation was not a rejection of society, but an inward journey, seeking clarity amidst the chaos of existence. The silent walls of introspection were where Nietzsche grappled with his existential fear. Rather than letting it overwhelm him, he chose to confront it. Each moment of solitude presented an opportunity to understand the origins of his anxieties and apprehensions. By acknowledging them, he could then transmute these unsettling emotions into profound ideas. In the stillness of isolation, anxiety transformed from a lurking shadow into a guide. It revealed areas of personal growth, uncovered hidden vulnerabilities, and highlighted strengths of which he was previously unaware. Nietzsche's introspective periods evolved into sessions of self-improvement, where he could channel the raw energy of anxiety into refining his philosophical ideas, both as a thinker and as a human being. Embracing discomfort, mastery through eternal recurrence. Following in the footsteps of Friedrich Nietzsche, we find a profound philosophy that challenges the notion of comfort and ease. Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence holds that life, with all its challenges and discomforts, must be embraced. It is precisely discomfort and adversity that drive us toward our greatest potential. Nietzsche's idea, much like that of Musashi, is to voluntarily face the harshest conditions of life. Just as Musashi ventured into inhospitable landscapes, Nietzsche encourages us to navigate the turbulent seas of existence. We must contend with the howling winds of uncertainty and slide across the slippery terrain of existence, for these conditions reflect the unpredictable nature of life itself and the anxiety it often brings with it. The harsh trials we face are not merely external challenges, but representations of our internal battles. By immersing ourselves in discomfort and acknowledging our anxieties, we not only master the art of living but also embrace Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, the idea that every challenge, every moment of discomfort, will repeat endlessly. In this eternal repetition, we find the opportunity to grow, adapt, and ultimately thrive. Nietzsche teaches us that the discomfort and anxiety we encounter are the tools that shape our greatness, just as Musashi believed in his quest to master the art of the sword. Legacy of the Übermensch. Impact on modern interpretations. From philosophical works encapsulating its essence to interpretations highlighting its spirit, Nietzsche's philosophy resonates with many even today. Scholars and thinkers worldwide venerate and explore his concepts, testifying to his lasting influence. But beyond his philosophical ideas, it is Nietzsche's perspective on anxiety and the human condition that stands as a guiding light for many today. As our modern world grapples with existential dilemmas and the weight of nihilism, the Übermensch emerges as a source of inspiration. It exemplifies the transformative power of embracing life's inherent struggles. Nietzsche's philosophy serves as a testament. Anxiety, often seen as a paralyzing force, can also act as a catalyst. It reminds us that beneath the chaos and uncertainty of existence lies latent potential. Just as Nietzsche, by confronting and understanding his anxieties, carved paths toward self-realization, we too can do the same. Final evaluation, confronting his own philosophy. After years of philosophical exploration, relentless introspection, and deep criticism of social norms, Nietzsche left an indelible mark on the landscape of Western philosophy. His journey was not simply defined by the words on his pages, but also by the intellectual legacy he was shaping with every idea he expressed. Being recognized as the bearer of the concept of the Übermensch brought him not only admiration, but also immense responsibility. Every thought he expressed was scrutinized, every concept dissected. With such an imposing reputation, the most formidable opponent Nietzsche could have faced in his later years was the shadow of his own philosophical past, the anxiety of constantly living up to the standards he himself had set, of being the philosopher everyone admired. It was a battle that could not be won by words alone. This internal conflict stood in stark contrast to his earlier days when he was a revolutionary thinker seeking to escape conventional philosophy. Just as his philosophical concepts needed to be balanced and refined to achieve maximum impact, the intellectual legacy he carried had its own duality. On one side, his ideas were deep reflections on the human condition, sources of profound contemplation and debate, paving the way for future philosophers and scholars. However, the other side of this legacy was sharp with the challenges of maintaining and expanding it. Innovations brought with them the fear of stagnation and the perpetual challenge of surpassing himself. This duality served as a constant reminder. While external critics may fade over time, the internal battles shaped by anxiety and introspection persist. As we delve into understanding how this interplay of brilliance, legacy, and internal conflict shaped Nietzsche's final thoughts, it becomes clear that the true essence of a philosopher lies not only in their theories, but also in the lessons drawn from a life of philosophical exploration and internal questioning. In the intricate dance of philosophy, where ideas and concepts swirl around us, anxiety often takes center stage. But as we have journeyed through Nietzsche's intellectual life, it becomes evident that this emotion, generally seen as an obstacle, can indeed be an ally. His legacy is not just that of a profound thinker, it is one of the resilience of the human mind in the face of internal struggles. Nietzsche's experiences urge us to question our perceptions. Do we let anxiety stifle our creativity, or do we harness its energy, channeling it into our intellectual pursuits? Nietzsche turned his anxiety into a sharp intellectual tool, cutting through conventional wisdom and propelling himself toward philosophical greatness. For us, the message is clear. Embrace uncertainties, challenge established doctrines, and allow anxiety to be the spark that ignites our philosophical inquiry. As we move forward, let us carry Nietzsche's lessons with us, viewing anxiety not as an impediment to thought, but as a catalyst for exploring the depths of human existence and the possibilities of the Übermensch.